RPG for You and Me presents Neon Heat, an actual play duet podcast using the Savage Worlds system in our custom cyber fantasy setting. It's been a labor of love creating it for the past several years, and we hope you enjoy.
Previously on Neon Heat. Athena flees the moth-filled warehouse with Bolt, chasing after Laverna, a Pantheon agent she recognized who tried to escape from inside. She manages to capture Laverna and bring her back to the scene, where they find that more regulators have arrived to assist. The investigation begins, and they find the bodies were all dead long ago, before the moths resurrected them. Bolt is substantially messed up from some substance inside the warehouse and is sidelined. Athena sees if Zadal can help her with her brain troubles, to which he seems to agree to, and they proceed with Laverna back to the Spire, only to be confronted by the mob of citizens from earlier. Bolt arrives on scene, still addled, and Athena has to get him out of there, but not without taking substantial damage in the line of duty.
What is your plan right now?
Athena's goal right now is to get Bolt to the highway, get him on a train, get to the Spire, hopefully not hurt anybody else, or be hurt.
Sure. You guys you're between the southmost stop and the next one.
The one by the parks?
The one by the parks, yeah.
I feel like she would know that housing is more south, and park would have more topper tourists, so I think she wants to go south to avoid as many eyes as possible.
Okay. And what's your general vibe here? Are you going for speed? Are you going for stealth? Are you trying to slip through the crowd?
I mean,
you're escorting Bolt as this is happening?
I don't think there's a way it could be stealthy.
I'm just asking.
He's a drunk bear right now, just rambling about, knocking into... No, he's more like a bull, isn't he? Just knocking into china shops is what I was...
Whatever
I think I'm mixing
animal
my
you
metaphors.
want him to be, I think you are.
Regardless, I think speed is good, because he seemed to snap out of it a little bit towards the end of the mob confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit. Not sure if that's going to last, so Athena's going to capitalize on it.
Sure, okay.
Here we go.
Alright, so you guys are heading south. What did you do with the hoverboards?
They're with
Did you leave those with... Okay.
One... I slotted one through Laverna's arms, like behind her back, and I think I just left the other one behind the line with the police. If Zadal can bring it back, maybe he will, maybe he won't. We got an extra one anyway, don't we?
I guess so.
Because he's not gonna ride it.
True. As you hurry through the streets with Bolt, you start to gather attention from the onlookers due to your bloodied appearance, and you watch as the faces begin to turn and look in the direction you're coming from. People are like, oh, what's this? And they look to see where you're coming from.
Right. I think she's been trying to wipe at the blood on her face to make it more, like, covert, but it just keeps smearing and looking worse.
Sure. As you go, there's more gasping and pointing, and if you look back, you can see that there is a visible mist of smoke going up, so it's, like, thicker than the fog in the mist. It's darker, blacker, rising up into the skyline from behind a wall of buildings where you know the mob to be. And there are also flares, like smoke trails from flares that were presumably shot up by other regulators.
What kind of flares are they?
I think there's definitely the yellow for regular.
Mm-hmm.
Regulators go up just like we need bodies, maybe.
Right.
There's green for medical attention type stuff, but you don't see anything like super heavy duty. Maybe they do send up like a red one just because there's been violence. So.
Gotcha.
So you see those going up in the distance. As you continue through the streets, you're heading down away from the dining and entertainment into the residential areas. So this is more just big apartment complexes where people are probably outside milling about. Maybe some of them are smoking or
taking
a walk,
home.
taking shopping bags home, coming from the districts, all that sort of stuff. So there's foot traffic here.
Right.
It's probably not as dense as, park, like you said. That was a smart idea. But there are people. As you continue, you get the occasional, hey, look, or it's Bolt, or, somebody calls out, go Wonderbolts, and there's a lot of positivity.
That's nice.
But sometimes people shout something like, you suck, or damn toppers, or get out. It's kind of a mixed bag, but it seems to be more positivity over here when people do recognize you. Now
that's something at least.
At the very least, you guys are going a couple of blocks, so it takes a little bit of time, and there's enough people that you're passing that you get a mixed bag of reactions. Maybe only once or so you see some people running in the opposite direction, like heading towards that, and you can hear somebody else basically shout something about, like, hey, there's a protest, or hey, they're gathering against the toppers or something, and somebody pulls a mask on their face and runs in that direction.
Oh, cool.
So,
well, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah.
Can't disengage to incapacitate every masked person running to a thing with 2 wounds and fatigue.
Throughout all of this, make me a smarts roll, just a straight up smarts roll, and then make me a persuasion, I guess.
So I'm at -3 right now for my 2 wound and fatigue, so that is a 0 and a -1.
Okay.
For my smarts.
Cool.
Shall I roll the persuasion?
Yeah, go ahead.
6.
6, okay. This is just to gauge your general how together you are as all of this is happening.
Not very.
Yeah, so I think a lot of this is just sort of a blur to you. Like, you have a plan, you have a mission, you know what you're trying to do.
I'm also losing a lot of blood.
You're losing some blood. You're not, like, dying right now.
No, but enough to maybe make her a little not thinking as clear as she should be.
Sure, and you're tired, so like it's tough. I think your fatigue and everything that's happening just makes it a little bit harder to both corral Bolt where you're going and not engage with people and just keep heading forward. So there are distractions and things slow down. But you do manage to keep him on task when you're speaking to him. Like, every time he tries to diverge himself, you manage to reel him back in. And I
think I pull him back in with a hey bud every time, and just a gentle bicep tap. And I think maybe that repetitive thing that keeps happening is enough to condition him and to keep going forward.
I like that. I think that makes sense. I think the biggest distractions are when people recognize him and then want to come up and, say hello or try to get a picture or something like that. And he's having trouble forming his words and getting out coherent thoughts.
Yep.
And I like the image of you maybe at a certain point getting tired of this and letting somebody get a picture, and Bold is just sort of like there with like a...
Oh, man.
Like he's on opium or morphine, and his face is sort of slack, and he's just got this big doofy look, and he's trying to give a thumbs up, but his hand's just sort of out and slack.
That's a good
So it looks like
picture.
it was taken in motion, like before he was ready, but the
still-
other two are there. Like,
Oh,
the other two are
man.
good, and he's just sort of
Cool.
like,
Well,
And, when people get closer to you, they definitely realize that everything's not, like, hunky-dory, so to speak. I think the guys who get the photos are sort of hesitant when they come in, but they still go through with it, and then it's sort of like, oh, thanks. Everything cool, and you guys good?
I think Athena just does a non-committal wave. I'd go home if I were you. And if your home is that way, and she points towards the mob, maybe just chill somewhere else for a few hours.
And they nod to you with surprised expressions, and then...
Go get a nice dinner out on the town.
Go ahead, give me a persuade with your wounds and stuff.
A 1 and a -1?
Yeah, so
Does that do it for me?
Yeah, they nod to you, and they're like, oh yeah, yeah. And then you start to walk away, and then they sort of slink back and start going towards the mob and pull out their cameras and break into a jog.
She left such a tiny man behind. He's gonna get ruined. She's never gonna see him again. He's gonna die.
No, he did tell you that. But you can keep on going, so...
Cool.
But yeah, you somehow manage to corral him, and you see the highway stop ahead of you with the stone and metal staircase that leads up to the platform.
Okay.
You see that one has just pulled away, so By the time you get up there, it'll probably have arrived.
Nice.
And you lug him up the stairs, and he seems to do okay with that, but he's taken, like, very wide steps. Like, as he goes up the stairs, he's just clenching this railing, pulling himself up, and his stance is quite wide as he sort of crab walks up.
How you doing, bud?
Those stairs.
I know, they're the worst.
So stairs.
We're almost there. Then we can do elevators. It'll be great. And I think in her heart, right now, an elevator would be great.
Yeah.
She hates elevators, but she's so fucking
and
tired.
Her fear was gone. So you get him up onto the platform, and there are a couple other people milling about, now waiting for that next train that got up ahead of you. You're up a little bit higher, so you have a better view of what's happening, and you look out over the cityscape, and it is the classic picturesque Caldonics, with the fog and the mists and the buildings standing like tall, dark columns, but there is a patch of darker smoke billowing out from very close by, multicolored smoke, reds and yellows and greens, and it's starting to sort of go out further. Like it's spreading out, you know, which
the
is
smoke
like
it's the smoke is diffusing around.
Yeah,
or...
the smoke. It's nothing like abnormal. It's just
Okay.
because it's so foggy and misty, it starts to run together.
Gotcha.
So
Especially
it's,
this time of night.
Yeah, and it's not as easy to see just because of all the vapor in the air. But you can hear in the distance, you know, shouts and things like that. And the train is pulling up, and I think just as it screeches to a halt in front of you, you hear the distant sounds of more piercing whoops,
Like Corey cycles?
This sounds more like maybe it's gunfire.
Oh no.
So there's not much of it. It's just you hear it go off.
Well, at least it's not ballistics.
Yeah, so it's not ballistics. It's Corey energy weapons.
Still bad.
But when you hear it, the people on the platform all sort of look around in surprise. The ones that weren't looking over in the distance, that were just sort of like, whatever, you know, gather over to the railing and are leaning out.
I think Athena's making a first last-ditch effort and just says, everybody remain calm, just proceed onto the train. Let's just move along.
And they look over at you, who is like dripping blood, and
yeah, I think there's definitely
escorting Bolt Bulug, who is also dripping blood and just
I think
dirty.
Some of it's
and
her blood, probably, because she keeps bumping into him.
Sure, you guys are just both bloody, and you say something, and they turn around, and you get more, you know, big blinks. There's a lot of shock and, you know, exchanged glances.
I think she taps on her badge on her belt, and just with her other hand, like, airline points towards the open train doors, like, come on.
Yeah, I think some of them do. Like, some of them are just like, yeah, all right, and filter onto the train itself, but some of them do now stay behind on the platform to lean on the railings and look out, and you see more people as you make your way onto the train itself. More people are running up onto the platform to get a better look, like, just to use it as high ground to lean out, so there's a Karnak or two actually climbs up over the side, like they had scaled the wall of the platform, followed by a Yara who sort of mantles over behind them, and they lean out and look together. Yeah, the doors slide open, you guys are able to get in. I'd say maybe 2/3 of the people that were on the platform get there, so it's not a jam-packed train. It's filled, but there's room for everybody to sit in a little, you know, there's some empty spaces, maybe like 3/4 capacity.
Cool.
Train lurches into motion, and there's that hum of Corey energy as it lifts up off of the tracks and begins to speed you guys towards the hub. The 5th stop will be the hub.
Gotcha.
So you got one by the parks that you chose not to go to that first time.
Yep.
One in the dining and entertainment district, another one on the southern edge, one closer to the history museum as it passes by, and then the hub itself.
Gotcha.
So that's where you guys are heading. I think the train ride, it's probably gonna be like a weird, awkward silence as everybody just sort of sits there for maybe 2 minutes just processing what's going on before people start to, like, question you. There's a woman, you know, sitting across from you clutching a bag, and she finally breaks the silence and she says, "So what's going on?"
I think Athena's eyes were closed, and she was trying to just chill and hope nobody would ask her a question, really. Athena says, after taking a beat to think about it, there was a hostile group who wanted their voices to be heard in maybe not the best fashion. So I would avoid that whole smoky area for a good amount of time for your physical well-being. I'm sure you'll read about it tomorrow in the paper.
So this lady's human. She's small, she's short, she's got mousy brown hair, and I think she clutches her bag a little bit more and pulls it in and sort of shrinks in on herself.
It's okay, though. It's okay.
And a man chimes in from off to your right, and you now realize that everybody in this car is looking at you. Like,
yeah,
she broke the silence, but everybody's looking at you now.
Yeah.
And the man, he's got, he actually kind of reminds you of your grandfather. You know, he's dressed nicely in a suit, he's got dark hair, he's got a small mustache, and he says, "What sort of group? Is it violence? Are we in danger?"
As long as you're not within that several block radius, you shouldn't come to any harm. Just, you gotta be smart tonight about your path you're taking home. If you live in that district, maybe stay over with a friend tonight. Friend or family.
And then there's somebody on the other side, and you're not sure who asked this time because the voice just sort of comes out while you're looking at the other guy. And they say, "But when can we go back?"
I left the scene as it was kicking off, so I'm not quite sure. I don't have an answer for that. I'm very sorry. I'm sure you could check back with the Spire, if need be. Plenty of precincts around. They're there for a reason.
Another person says, Are you okay? You guys look kind of... That's Bolt. That's Bolt Bulig.
It is Bolt Bulig.
Bolt looks up at his name.
She pats him on the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Bolt he got a concussion, so I'm taking him to see a doctor.
Bolt Bulig? A concussion?
Well, sometimes rocks are real big when they fall.
Where did the rocks fall from?
Don't worry about it.
You say that, and there's sort of like a little murmur.
She's just lying for no reason. She's just tired.
Sure.
She can't tell him some weird moth cult in a warehouse fucked him up in an unknown substance. I think that's worse.
True.
She is lying for a reason. I've decided.
Sure. Yeah, I think that same person says, did the people make the rocks fall?
No, unrelated situation.
So obviously time is passing as this is going on. And the people poke you and prod you with, questions sort of about what's going on. And those people who wanted their voices to be heard, what do they have to say? What do they want? Like terrorists?
I wasn't there for long enough to really...
Terrorists? Jeez, you say terrorists?
I think everybody should just calm down. Bolt's not worried.
Somebody says, he doesn't seem very well.
I thought we were over that already. She pats him again.
Hope you look a concussion.
She just keeps digging herself into a further hole. Yeah. There is no terrorism threat. Everything's gonna be okay. The regulators on scene are taking care of it. It's quite literally their job. Just don't worry. We've got it handled.
I'll say make a persuasion. I'll give you a +2 to counteract some of this because you handled it pretty evasively. So this is going to be at a -1 total. You can give me a Benny.
Yeah.
Oh no.
God damn it! Fuck, I might need that last one.
You might.
Guess I spent 2 bennies for nothing.
That's the danger. You never know. You never know. I think there's just a little bit more whispering. Like, people aren't entirely convinced by your version of events that it's not a big deal and to just move on. So I think I think there's just more sort of scattered whispering, and now, as opposed to being awkwardly silent, there's just a lot of piece of carrots. Rhubarb. So more time passes, but you do eventually get to the hub, and the train pulls in. The doors slide open, and of course there are people here waiting to get on and off as well. It's not as crowded as like main hours, but
I think she used the train ride to just gather up her internal fortitude to just make a beeline right for the Spire.
You get out at the hub, and I think it's much the same scene. Like, people see you, and there's some whispering, and maybe a couple people are like, "Hey, that's Bolt Bulig," and maybe they try to stop and talk to you. But if you're just like going,
just beelining.
Nobody tries to detain you or anything like that, so you can pretty easily make it to the main.
I think she thinks this might be a little more distracting because it is a more high traffic area, so I think she has her fist balled up in like his rolled up sleeve, just leading him forward a bit.
Make me... I don't think there's anything you can do to stop that, so let me just roll something
cool.
here and see if he succeeds. He has 1 wound. Okay. Alright, I'm not going to Benny that. So he's next to you, and you're kind of tugging him along, and he takes a breath and goes... and sort of makes a noise, and you can see there starts to be this flickering golden energy that sort of coalesces on him, and then it dies away, and he just goes... He's like trying to respond, but he can't form the words.
I think she pats his chest and just keeps going. She has not stopped.
Sure, yeah, no, I
just
think that's...
gotta get to the
I think that's
fucking
fine.
doctor.
Yeah.
God damn.
A doctor, honey. Alright, so you're just going in the main hub area.
I guess. This has already gone to bits.
Okay, and you don't really pass... You pass a couple people just on the catwalks that lead over there, or the raised platforms, but you do get in. You get to the main entrance, and you're able to make your way in through the doors, one of the many sets of doors, into the main area.
Who's at the main desk?
Let's say it's Rebexy. Why not?
Cool. I think she calmly goes over to Rebexy and asks if Roja's in, or there's a different doctor that she can go utilize.
Sure, and she says, yes, Dr. Naveen is down in her lab right now.
Wonderful.
Would you like... Oh, my goodness, sure. I think she'd been, like, looking down and heard your voice and responded, but then looked up. Are you alright? You don't look so good.
Between you and me, Rebexy, I think Bolt's a little worse, so I gotta get him there real fast. Can you let her know we're coming?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
And she doesn't detain you further, and you know your way down to Roja's lab, so the rest of it passes without too much more trouble.
Oh, thank God, this has been so much trouble. So much.
You think that. But yeah, you make it down to Roja's lab, and there's that smell of sweet petrichor and freshness that is broken up by the nasty
I think
shit
she
smell by the door.
pinches his nose
And
and just lets it go as he gets past the poop pots,
Oh,
if you
God.
will.
The
Shit shrooms.
Oh no, don't put that evil on me. But you get inside, and it's a menagerie of botany. Tons of plants and vegetation growing out of the pots, littering the room itself. And Roja is down, working at one of her tables.
Hey, Roja!
Yes?
We need a help.
You need help. And I think you guys are, like, up still, sort of walking down.
Yeah, that's
Her voice
why,
is coming
because
down
she's
there.
a little further away, so Athena's projecting
No,
right now.
I get it. And you just take him down to the
Yep.
main lab area. Yep, you lug him down there, and she has, stood herself up from the desk, and as you're getting closer, she says, So, Rebexy said that you needed some sort of medical attention?
Mm-hmm. And I think she gestures to a chair for Bolt if he sees it.
And so there is a chair. It's very... it looks
too
tiny.
little.
So he's not, like, over large.
He's a big guy.
He's a big guy, so he can sit in there. Like, it's not like he's sitting at a
It's just
preschooler's,
really
like,
tiny.
little plastic chair. It's not that outlandish. But yeah, it's tiny for his big old frame. But yeah, he flops into it. And I think there is a moment where you're not sure if the legs are gonna hold or buckle, but then you're
she
like...
squints at it.
Yeah, they're
and
metal.
then nods to herself like, yeah, that'll do.
And you're like, that would have broken already, so you're good. But yeah, he flops into it, is sitting there more slack than he normally is, and just taking big, deep, long breaths, and probably glad to sit again.
Probably.
And she looks at him with a skeptical eyebrow and looks back to you and says, "You're both bleeding."
We are both bleeding, Roja. That is an excellent observation.
Yes, I'm known for my astute observations.
So Bolt is pretty messed up. I think he might have inhaled some moth dust. He has just been... I think he hurt a couple people in a mob. I don't know if you heard about the riot that started.
No,
No.
I have not.
Yep. So we were there, and that was bad, and that's how I got hurt trying to get him out, because he was fucked up, and I didn't want him to fuck them up, or him to become further fucked up. So, fuck Roja.
And you're saying all this, and Bolt is doing, like, he now, for the first time, is able to do, like, individual winks instead of the blink, and his eyes are just, like, weirdly...
He's never been able to do that before.
He's just like, blah, 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 blah. She says, a mob. And she's in motion now. She's walking around. I think she goes over to grab a stethoscope-looking device and maybe a small depressor. And she comes back and is standing in front of you and says, a mob. You managed to anger that many people already.
Well, between you and me, it was kind of, Bolt's general property damage that did. And they just kind of found us and then got angrier as we were doing our little, task forcing. And then they showed up later and they're trying to attack the AleraCorp workers. So this has been just a splendid day for me.
Yes, a lot of happy things coming now that we have you returned, it seems.
That would have happened anyway, probably.
Just a happy coincidence, yes.
Yeah.
And she starts looking at Bolt, moving him around. She gets a little, what do they call those things used to look in people's ears?
An ear looker.
An ear looker. She's got an ear looker. She
Nice.
does that. She comes out. One of her vine legs comes out and does that thing where it creates the small bud of light and puts it in front of his face and moves it around to track his vision. And she's doing that, and he's just like sitting there looking off into space. And she makes sort of a noise to herself as she goes about doing this. And
Athena's not interrupting. She's just... I think she goes to scratch the back of her head and then it comes away wet.
Mm-hmm.
And she just wipes it on her pants because she is not the priority right now.
Sure. And you go about... You wait, and she does this examination of Bolt. And she says, his property damage did this, you think?
Well, they weren't very happy about it. I mean, they just want the toppers gone, And he's kind of like King Topper.
I see.
I mean, is my read bad on that?
No, not necessarily. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just curious what your interpretation of the situation is. Since you are on scene, and you are the one feeding me information, I have to look at it through your eyes. And she finishes up a couple more things, and I think sticks him to take a blood sample, and he goes, "Ugh." I think he raises a hand like he's about to smack her away, like she's a bug. What do you do? Like his hand is
I guess
in motion. Like it's not a really hard one, but it's in motion.
Can I just entangle one hand?
Sure, why not? Go ahead and roll it.
Oh god, here I go.
I see one of those is a 1. What's the other one?
It's a 5.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
All right, so but that's still -3.
No, it was an 8.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So a 5.
All right.
Yes.
So what are you entangling him with?
Are there other chairs around?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I just grab some bits out of it, wrap them up.
Are you wrapping him up?
Just the arm.
Just the one arm. So
that's
like,
gonna get
are
her.
you tying it to something? Because like,
was
if you
thinking,
wrap it in metal, it's gonna hurt her a lot worse, and it's not gonna stop him from doing anything.
No, I was gonna try and like bind him to perhaps the arm of the chair
Okay.
rather than her face.
No, yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
So one
I'd
of the
like to do
chairs,
that.
I think the leg shoots out from one of the chairs, sort of like liquid metal. It wraps itself around his arm and then lashes it to the arm of the chair he's actually sitting in.
Bolt, cool it.
Hurts.
We're cool.
It
It's
hurts.
I know. I don't like getting blood drawn either, bud. I think she
And,
goes over and she pats his arm.
And the chair that you took the leg from just sort of like teeters and topples forward and makes a small clatter. And Roja has stepped back in surprise. She says, "You said he inhaled moth dust? Moth dust did this?"
I don't know. We were in a warehouse. There were these. Oh, Roja.
I don't like
It
when you
was-
start a sentence that way.
I know. So there were a bunch of dead bodies that got reanimated by moths or something controlling the moths. And they were cracking vials of shit, so I don't know if it was scuffle dust that was just ambient in the room before we got there, but we went into this warehouse and he just started coughing and he went down and I had to get him out, but we were being attacked on all sides and I don't know why we got assigned this, because we shouldn't have been assigned this, probably. It's very... This is some big shit.
Well, the stories you bring me seem to get more and more outlandish, but you said a lot of moths. What is a lot of moths?
You know, I didn't get a real good beat on it because they were all flying around, but somewhere between hundreds to thousands.
I don't think I have ever seen that many moths congregate in one place.
Me either.
This makes no sense. I think she says that more to herself as she goes about looking at him, and she takes the blood sample back and stuffs it into a piece of machinery, like one of her lab station things, and there's a click and a monitor turns on and starts running, presumably diagnostics.
While there's some diagnostics being run, could I use my adventure card?
Sure, what's your adventure card?
It's Revelation.
Ah.
Your hero finds all the information available while doing research, or realizes critical information when confronting some obstacle such as a monster's weakness, the answer to a riddle or cipher, etc. If I could just help Roja along.
This is a good one for you to pull.
Yeah, I gave away my other one, which was, it would have healed all of my wounds.
Yeah, I guess you didn't really need that right now.
Well, you never know. It might not go off well.
That's true.
So, I just want that computer to do some real good work.
I'm probably gonna roll this card into some other stuff that's happening.
Sounds good.
Just while you're here. I'm gonna hold on to this Revelation card then, and
Sure.
I will use that as I see fit.
Please do.
Well, this is going to take some time, so I suppose let me take a look at both of you.
Okay.
She comes over and she's examining you as well, and she has okay bedside manner. Like, it's not as bad as Elliot from Scrubs,
So
which
bad.
we all know to be notoriously bad with bedside manner. But it's not great, and she's
if she's
good.
just a little less prickly than usual, Athena, considers that to be a win.
I think she's about as prickly as usual.
That's fine.
And she gets through, looking at you, so it's mostly just, you have head contusions.
Yep.
She'll stop and she'll look at you and say, well, how would you like your medicine?
Whatever's easiest.
Oh, good. And turns around and begins walking back towards the table. And
She's gonna fake me out.
she does. She reaches like she's gonna grab a tube to shoot nasty goo into, but instead she just turns around and shoots a dart into your neck.
I don't think Athena reacts at all. She just
Whoop.
kind of shrugs.
Let's see how she does for healing.
Oh god, I hope well.
That one's a 9. So, lucky you.
Thank goodness.
So you heal both of your wounds, and I guess I'll roll one for Bolt too. That one's an 8. Wow, Roja good. Roja real good. You guys both heal. You feel the heat of this liquid enter your body at the sight of the dart, and it rapidly spreads through your body, and you can feel everything is getting hotter, like your metabolism is speeding up, and you feel the itching in your head where you've been hurt. The pain eventually goes away.
I think she relaxes and just sits on the floor. Maybe she leans forward onto her knees a little bit and hangs her head. It's nice not to hurt.
Bolt is sort of just
Cool.
feeling good. And she turns back to you and leans her butt against the table and folds her arms, pushes her glasses up her nose, and she's got her lab coat on, she's at work, and sleeves rolled up, and she says, so?
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry.
That it wasn't what I was asking. What is going on? This mob. Are they still out there?
I think
How-
so. I was trying to...
How is this all connected? You said
I don't know.
You said there were moths and there were people, and the mob was somehow connected to the moths.
Let me give you a run through on my day.
Oh yes, please do.
So, started out here at the Spire, went to investigate that building that blew up yesterday, found a duffel bag full of dust and spooky papers. We're going to the waterfront, check stuff out. Then we were going to a warehouse, because I was there, but we got caught up in the middle, and I think she's rambling a little bit, because she's trying to sort out the timeline herself. And we got stopped by a group of people, because I didn't want to ride on those fucking hoverboards. But we should have, because then the whole group of people stopped to get pictures with Bolt, and I was like, you can only take 2. And you know what? He did. He did only take 2. That was very cool of him. But then people showed up, and they started throwing stuff, and they're like, oh, yeah, all my shit got fucked up, and nobody's done anything about it. Because he does so much damage, how can they keep up with it? And they went to a warehouse, and there were moths and dead people, and they were all coming back to life, and there was some Pantheon agent, and she's probably fucking in the wind. She's gone now. She's invisible. That's pretty cool. What else happened? She looks over at Bolt, like, what else happened? He's still fucked up, so
he's not coherent enough
looks back ahead. And
well, most of that made no sense at all. They were dead people? You found dead people?
Yeah, they were dead. There was bullet in a couple of them. One got his face smashed in, but the moths resurrected them and they started to attack us. And it seemed like once the moths were off of them, they were dead again. Because I burned a lot of the moths off of them, but I don't know.
You say that and you look up to Roja and she is looking at you with just like this. Yeah, I think she actually says, maybe I should test your blood too. And she...
Oh, maybe.
Gets a syringe and stabs you and gets some blood and goes to jam it into the machine too.
It's not the worst thing she's felt today.
Well, this is going to take some amount of time. Maybe we can put him... Are you feeling all right? Generally, mentally,
yeah.
Does anything feel out of place or strange? Are you having trouble with your thoughts or anything?
I mean, I'm having a little trouble with my thoughts, but I think that's just because I'm tired.
Yes, you do seem to be rambling a bit. Well, and she, I think, is wearing a watch and looks at the watch and says, I'm scheduled to perform some autopsies.
I wonder if they're mine.
They are.
Oh, cool. Those are the dead people. Wonderful. They've already made it back.
No, the ones from yesterday.
From yesterday?
Yes, the ones that died in the interrogation room with you.
Oh!
As
good.
the sole witness to the demise. Does that sound familiar now?
There have been a lot of dead people the past day or two, Roja. Maybe I should keep a checklist.
You say that and you're making a joke, but her face is dead stony and she says, there are many dead, yes. I don't know if you understand the severity of that.
I think she bites her tongue a little bit.
I'm not speaking from, I'm just saying in general. That is not something that I would want to be associated with or take lightly.
No, I mean, me either. However, just kind of the situation I'm finding myself in right now. So sometimes you gotta make a joke so you don't fall apart.
Yeah, and I think she just lets that comment go. Just, sure. And, rubs at her eyes a little bit.
Is there a room we can put him to chill?
Well, if there's not a room, we can gather someone to watch him. We can get him out of here, that's fine. But yes, my work is done until I can see the blood screen results and know exactly what it is that is going on inside his body. She presses a button on her desk and she says, Rebexy. And Rebexy's voice comes through a little scratchier, like a not great quality radio, but says, yes. And she says, we need a small group to look after Bolt. He is unwell and, maybe put him in a room so he can sleep, but post some to keep an eye on him, sort of like health watch. And Rebexy responds with the affirmative and says she'll send some people down.
Cool.
I think while she has the intercom on, she says, Rebexy, is Iva here yet? I have been waiting for him. And Rebexy says, no, I haven't seen him come through. I don't know if there are any messages, but I haven't seen him. And Roja sort of says, oh, yes, thank you, and cuts the connection. And she rubs at her eyes a little bit more and says, well, I need to get these done. Would you like to get your hands dirty?
I think she takes a beat and thinks about it and says, most of the time when there's blood on my hands, it's from a person who's recently been alive at the very least. I've never done dead blood before. Is there anything I should know?
I think she scratches at her lip as she thinks a little bit and says, well, they're dead. So they've been in preservation since they died. They shouldn't be decomposing or anything like that. I mean, it's not flowers and sunshine, as I'm sure, you enjoy, but... And she sort of sidelong looks at Bolt and says, maybe we will continue this conversation after...
Yeah.
Our friend here goes. And if you guys keep it quiet, there are some people that come down and...
I think Athena walks over to Bolt and she's like, all right, You guys are gonna take a real good nap. I'll meet up with you. I'll meet up with you when you wake up. Sleep tight, bud. Gives him a double pat on his cheek.
And yeah, the people heft him up, and he doesn't really put up a struggle, and they lead him out of the room, and at the top, he's sort of, he's muttering and stuff, and he does want, like, a look back over his shoulder to see you guys down there, and...
Athena waves. Smiles.
And I think he raises his hand to wave back, but hits it on the door frame or something. So they take him out, and he leaves, and then it's just you two. And Roja says, yes, I thought maybe you would want to be a part of the autopsy.
Yeah, I think that would be super. We should do that.
Maybe you had a personal investment in the outcome for non-specific reasons.
Non-specific reasons. Sorry, my brain's kind of catching up today.
Is that a departure from most days?
Roja, let's go cut up some dead fuckers. Let's do it. Let's just...
Some dead fuckers.
Let's just get into it.
Such a potty mouth.
Oops.
Right, so she takes you to the autopsy room, and it's the general vibe there is much like the rest of the spire. I think you have to take the elevator to get there. It's deeper in the ground, further down. Probably not as far as like the records room or anything like that, but it's got its own little section.
No, I have a question. As you go further down, does it get colder or warmer?
I feel like it would get warmer.
Right?
Mm-hmm. The autopsy room itself is... I mean, let's just say, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a modern autopsy room. There are side chambers where they keep the cadavers and, cold storage, things like that. It's not extensive, so there's not like a ton of room here. It's not meant for long-term storage. It's just an in-between stop.
Okay.
But she'll get you fitted with a pair of scrubs and matching gloves and things like that.
Athena puts her hair up into a big old bun, keeping it out of the way.
You got a scrub cap to pull over that. It's very poofy, and I would like to see art of that.
Oh, it'll be there.
I would appreciate that.
Don't even worry about it.
You are going to do the autopsy with Roja, but because we don't want to talk about the specific gross nastiness here, we're going to hand wave a lot of the particulars. We're just going to move past it. So can you make me a vigor roll for the autopsy, for Athena's presence in the nasty grossness?
Yes. 3.
So I think you're in there with her at the start of the autopsy, and I think things are going okay, but there's a point when maybe she hands you something that you don't want to hold, and Athena just loses her lunch and has to get out of the room.
And get out she does.
Get out she does. So I think the consequence there is that this takes a lot longer than it would have normally.
That's
and
fine.
Rouge is just sort of like scoffs as you flee out of the room.
Whenever she comes back, Athena's just back up against the wall right outside the door with a encased trash can right in front of her, and she's just got her arms out over it.
This is in between sets as Rouge is going through and doing this, and she says, for someone with your particular skill set and background, I would have expected you to have a better stomach.
I don't cut people up with scalpels, Roja.
Yes, yours is much bigger than a scalpel, isn't it?
Usually the blood is all cauterized in them. Usually.
I think she walks away to continue what she's doing, but we'll come back out. Probably this whole process probably takes a couple hours.
It's fine.
So you don't even need to wait here. You can go. We'll say you've spoken with Roja, and she will summon you at the appropriate time. So
cool.
Maybe you take a nap. Maybe you kill some time that way.
I would love to take a nap.
I'd love to take a nap.
Would that get rid of my fatigue?
No.
Damn it. That's fine.
So at the end of the autopsies, Roja brings out her reports and sort of gives you the bullet points of what you need to know, what's worthwhile. Tells you that they were AleraCorp sector workers. They work in their public institutions, basically grunt labor, maybe maintenance workers or retail type people or just administrators. Nothing weird or specific about that. None of them are missing persons. They've been dead for about 24 hours because you were there when it happened.
Sure was.
All 4 of them had smaller samples of glimmer in their systems, which is the drug manufactured from Sikumoth dust, which I think is only sort of on the rise. Like it's always existed, but
it's a little more prevalent, maybe.
Scuffle dust has sort of been like the main thing that you've seen.
It's just the crystals are so plentiful.
Sure.
Moths are so damn hard to catch.
Exactly. The main thing of interest here is that they each died of a brain aneurysm. And more than that, it looks like there was strange discolored channels in their brain matter, like of a darker discoloration. Not physical pathways that were actually carved or taken out or anything like that, but just discolorations of the tissue on the brain matter.
Gotcha.
Which is strange, and Roja has no explanation for. I've never seen anything quite like it. I mean, you were there when they all died. I've heard your version of events, but I don't know what to say. There seems to be some sort of Cori residue where these channels have formed.
I really got nothing.
Well, I assumed that. I'm informing you.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know.
Maybe the doll have something. I don't know.
Yes, maybe. You're certainly welcome to show him the report. And I think she looks at her watch again and says, well, I imagine he is back now somewhere.
I hope so. He kind of was in the riot.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is not in the middle?
Kinda.
Why?
He was with us.
And you left him there?
I was trying to draw the mob's attention because Bolt was running at them. And he, big old Bolt. He was gonna hurt people, so I had to... They already don't like me, and they don't like him, so I was trying to distract them so Regulation could get a better foothold on the situation.
Well, I hope they have.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I think while you guys are talking or in the in-between time, a runner comes down because they know you're here and tell you that they did, in fact, bring the rest of the bodies from the warehouse back for autopsies as well.
Nice.
I mean, we can just expect that Roja does go through those at some point.
Sure.
Maybe now, maybe in a bit. I don't really know how long autopsies take, and if Athena's not directly involved in this, then I guess she can go and do other stuff while Roja's doing this.
Okay, that'd be good.
So what would Athena be doing?
Well, she wants to go talk to Rasmus.
Okay. About what?
She told her to let her know if she needed anything, and now she does need something, so she wants to go talk.
Okay. You go to Rasmus's office, I guess.
Knock on the door.
Yeah, I think that this is another separate floor, just like all the heads of Regulation have their own little kingdom, so to speak. But yeah, you knock on the door, and there is a response from inside. It says, yeah, come in.
And she does.
And this office looks much like the other ones. A quarry wall just flowing behind with the orange liquid and the multicolored bits floating through, creating the small pulses of energy as they bump into each other occasionally. I don't know, what else do you think would be in her office to set her apart from the others? Maybe there's like a punching bag.
I kind of thought there would be a punching bag.
There's like a big punching bag type of thing with maybe a couple of punctures in it. She forgot what she was doing, maybe
just like
stabbed through it.
A pile of sand underneath it from where some of it leaked out.
Yeah. But yeah, I think maybe a punching bag. She's probably at least a little bit of a jock. There's like a chin-up bar type thing. Just some like very basic athletic stuff for when
she's got some clacky balls
on her desk.
Yeah.
Are they just going while you guys are talking?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Seems like maybe she got him as a present.
They live here. This is their office too. She looks up and she's got like a little pair of reading glasses on, and takes them off and sees you come in and says, "Oh, Sedaris, to what do I owe this pleasure?"
Well, Delegate, you told me to let you know if I needed anything, and I very quickly figured out what I needed. We need to fortify Bolt's brain. And let me expand on that.
I know
real
he's not
quick.
the smartest guy, but you want to take him back to school? You want to get him more education? It's kind of you, but I don't know that it's going to make a difference.
I'll be doing the continuing education on the job.
I don't think you're a teacher.
I am kind of his handler, though, so you know.
And she looks skeptical. You want to give Bolt lessons?
No, what I want to give Bolt is... So he got a bit fucked up today on some drugs that, I think it was possibly Glimmer. That's how the day's going. It's made him not act in his usual way, and he hurt some civilians inadvertently, and there's, a smack of mind control to this whole case that we're on, so I would really like to get him one of these, like I have, to maybe prevent that from happening, because if he was controlled by somebody else, his brain can't be that hard to break into. The whole city would be at risk.
So you say all this. She sits and she listens and nods and thinks, let's take a big old step back there. He took Glimmer?
He didn't take it, so we went into this warehouse, and he started coughing and going down, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then there were thousands of Siku moths in there, just, floating their dust about, and he started to choke, and I couldn't get him out of there fast enough, because he's big. I did the best I could, but,
Take a lot of dust to affect a big old guy like him.
Thousands of moths.
Nah, I heard you.
Like, I've never seen that many in one place before. It was insane.
Yeah, well...
I'm very concerned.
So, I got more questions. You said there's what word did you use? A smattering of mind control?
I think a smack.
A smack roll. What? Where are you bringing that in?
Well, there were these suspects yesterday who were only saying the one same thing, and when it all attempted to get something out of them, something else was in their brain too. So, if we're involved in solving this particular case, I'd feel better if I don't get lasered in the back.
Okay, you don't have to work that case. We can always reassign it to someone else.
No, I'm already pretty in it. I cut up some people today.
Yeah. You want to finish that sentence
Autopsies.
there, Sedaris? What are you doing autopsies for?
Her assistant didn't make it in time. I had to do something.
Well, that makes more sense than you fancying a change in career paths.
I think she gets a little green.
Yeah, alright. Mind control is always a thing. Like, some people can do it. It's pretty rare.
Pretty rare, but
sure, I understand your concern for not wanting a simpleton to be taken over by someone with nefarious purposes, but from what you're telling me, this is dust. I don't know that any kind of mind protection is gonna affect the dust. It's a physical reaction.
Well,
gets in your system.
There's the dust today, but then yesterday there was something brain-wise, and I've got a gut feeling on this, and it's not good.
Well, a rebreather would be cheaper.
I'll start there, I guess.
Yeah, I don't even know, okay, so you got your thing. I don't know if that exists for other people. You made that yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing. I really don't know. I could pass it up, of course, if that's a request that you have. We don't have bottomless pockets.
No.
But, sure, I can put in a good word or let somebody know that you're looking for it.
Do we have anybody on staff that makes augments?
She pauses and thinks and rubs at her eyes a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know some of the staff as well as I used to. Maybe Rex can. Maybe Rex knows somebody. I'm sure we have some sort of affiliation, but I don't know if we have anybody on staff.
Well, guess I'll go ask Rex then.
Yeah, well, is that it? You're afraid Bolt's gonna go, get puppeteered into killing people? Is that it?
It's certainly a scary thought.
It's a scary thought if anybody goes rogue. Be more worried about you.
I don't think you have to worry about that.
She quirks an eyebrow.
I have been tumbling something around.
Yeah.
Do you think AleraCorp wanted Bolt on the force to rile up the citizens? Because he does an awful lot of property damage, and then they're swooping in and paying for it because they know we can't.
I thought you didn't like politics, or I thought you were bad at them.
I mean, I'm not unaware of what's going on. I just try to focus on what's in front of me, but sometimes a big picture appears, and you gotta do something. She shrugs.
Short answer, yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what they're doing. So no, you're not crazy, and I don't want you to think that we're idiots for going along with it, but
no.
The reality of the situation here is that times are strange, and the balance of control is not what it used to be. And I think she sniffs a little bit and says, I don't know how much I'm at liberty to guess about or think out loud about, but it would probably be a safe bet to assume that AleraCorp and any sort of surface powers that have a vested interest in our city would use whatever underhanded methods they could to get a better hold on it. Just as a safe little nugget of information.
Yeah, it
seems like a safe bet.
I think she looks up and smiles when they say the same thing.
And then she sort of holds her hands out and says, That's why you're on it, right?
Oh, I'm on it. Don't even worry about it.
Sometimes you gotta try to put a leash on the meteor, I guess. I don't know, it's not a reference or anything, that's just a...
I thought I missed something.
Nope. Just a thought. Alright, so assuming Bolt's, doing his thing, you look into the mind thing, whatever you want to do. Sure, why not?
Cool.
Look into options, but don't make him look too good. But, don't let him hurt people either.
Yeah.
You gotta make him as unnoticeable as you can.
It's a fun balance beam to be on, and I think it's gonna be just fine. She squints and gives a real, just a slightly shaky smile.
Well, I sure hope so. I don't think I'd like a lot of the changes that come down the pipeline if they do get more control.
Do you know why Lepaco suggested this for me? I was real sure I was just gonna be shit-canned.
Why? I assume because he just wrote you a horrible review and got to meet his big old hero Bolt and thought, hey, maybe this ne'er-do-well could benefit.
Is that what he wrote in my file?
No, but it's a short summary of what he pitched to us in person.
Cool.
Oh yeah, all you Mr. Bolts are... Mr. Bolt will show her how to do... You know how he talks.
I do. That was good. Well, I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you for seeing me.
Sure.
I feel better having aired my concerns. And I guess I'm gonna go see what's up with the rest of these fucking bodies. She gives her a thumbs up.
The rest of these bodies?
Yeah, we found a bunch of dead guys. So we're running, seeing what's in them. Or what's not in them. Or
Yep. Understood.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna go do that. Unless you need anything from me.
No, I think I'm good.
She gives a little salute, heads on her way.
I think Rasmus smiles at the salute and nods. So you leave Rasmus's office? Alright, is there anything specific you were going to go and try and do? Or are you going to go back to Roja and see if she had autopsy results, or... Alright, so you leave Rasmus's office. Yeah, you go back down to the autopsy area where Roja is working, Are you going to re-offer your services? Or are you just kind of checking in on progress?
Just checking. I don't think Athena really wants to go back into Formaldehyde Town.
Sure.
Doesn't smell very good. She's got quite a good sniffer.
All right, yeah, I think you check in with Roja. Maybe you open the door and she's, there, arm deep.
Oh, God.
And just sort of like looks over at you.
Shuts
Shuts the door immediately. She rolls her eyes as you flee again. Yeah, I think if you're just hanging out in the just hanging out in the hallway, I think eventually Zadal comes by.
Cool, he's alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
He doesn't look too worse for wear. He's all in one piece, maybe weary, but he sees you. Are you sitting like in the hall, just like against the wall?
I thought perhaps if the trash can's still there, I think she's just chilling by it.
Okay, so we have a shot of Athena. I imagine back against the wall, sitting on the floor with your legs like spread out and the trash can between, just like sitting there holding the trash can, like
just chilling.
Just looking sick. Okay, so as it all comes up and he says, you taking on a new profession?
I'm a bucket drummer now. I think it'll be good for my life expectancy.
That might be true, but maybe not, because you're probably not going to make much money drumming on buckets if it's not, upside down with the kind that you can drum on.
Oh, you don't know how they do it up top, man. Bucket drummers everywhere like this.
Well, I suppose I can't argue with that logic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they told me you were down there.
Mm-hmm.
Thought I'd check in, make sure that you and the big man are doing okay. You feeling alright?
Oh, this is unrelated. I was helping with an autopsy earlier. I'm still a bit squiffy. Apparently I'm not very good at that. Bolt's napping, I think. How are you?
Oh, well, he does a once-over, looks down and says, I have not sustained any sort of bodily injury, which I am always grateful for. And he sort of holds out his hands and says, the lady got away.
I'm not really surprised. I think she was just hanging out.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I tried to detain her, played with her head a little bit, made her go the wrong direction, think there was a wall, that sort of thing. But I can't, there's a big crowd. She just, she gave me the slip.
Shit happens. It was a mob.
I was holding her there, and then she just, I think he sort of grumbles a little. She handed me the cuffs, just
handed
tapped
them.
me on the shoulder and handed them to me, and then I wasn't thinking, I just sort of took them and then looked over and she was, running.
I mean...
Polite of her, I know. But,
yeah, I mean, she could have just kept them, so that was nice.
Yeah, so I got nothing. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, she obviously Trixie can deal with that later.
But at least we got a name.
Got a name.
And something on us so we can put that in the database in case she pops up again or something.
How hard is it gonna be to find one invisible girl?
Yeah, just an invisible person that can apparently get out of handcuffs and flouts authority and...
Well, I think she can go apart, kind of into, like you could go through her. You know what I mean?
Sure. That makes... I didn't see her do it, so I don't know.
Athena just does one of those, like, a tiny hand throw, just like, eh.
Okay, so the mental image I have is Athena on the floor doing that, like, little hand throw shrug with the trash can, and it's like in Ratatouille when Linguini's asleep with the sunglasses on, and he's just like, yeah, you know what I mean.
I mean, that's basically it.
So yeah, Zadal looks at the door and says, so she, the doctor's in?
Yeah, she's in quite deep. I had to come back out.
Yeah, I see, so, surprising, actually, but, we all got our own thing.
I don't seem to have a problem dealing out injuries. I don't like looking at them later. I've never really had to do that, except on my own, bits.
Sure, it's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
You don't gotta look at it, you don't gotta think about it. It's pretty normal. Sorta puts it in perspective for you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, sometimes it needs done. So, Mr. Big Man is taking a nap, and you seem to be a little occupied, or maybe not, I don't know.
No, I just kind of had it here as something to put my hands on.
Sure.
I'm okay.
Alright, well, I gotta file this report, but, I don't know what else we got going on, today, or
Honestly,
on the docket if Mr. Squad Leader ain't here and you're in the middle of some business, I can tell, but...
I mean, I'm just waiting for some lab results, testing out our blood from the warehouse.
Sure.
That's about it, other than the bodies. Oh, those people yesterday all died of brain aneurysms. And there was some kind of Corey-laced channels going through their brains or something. Roja has the report.
Well, I'll be sure to read it. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but...
Oh, who knows?
The brain aneurysm thing doesn't really surprise me.
No, they died real fast.
Yeah, I don't know why, but the aneurysm is the cause of death ain't a shock to me. But yeah, I'll read the report. I'll see what she got. Who's she working on in there right now?
The people from the warehouse.
Oh, good. Well,
yeah. I mean, I don't know what she's gonna find. They've already been dead for a while.
Well, we won't know till she's done, but, yeah. Anyway, you, I know it's sort of been a weird, long day, and it's sort of calmed down out there a bit, but, there was sort of a mess still that we gotta sort through. I sort of, beat it, got off the scene as soon as she disappeared.
Do not blame.
So.
Did I help at all? Anything I did affect in a positive way there?
I think when you said at all, he was about to say something, and then you said in a positive way, and he stops.
Oh, cool.
Well, you removed Big Man from the scene, so I think that was definitely a check in the positive column, but, I don't know that you would have made a difference on your own, and since you're sort of in the eye of the storm on that one, probably better that you weren't there. Glad you looking better, because I saw you take some licks on the way out, so...
Oh yeah, Roja got me fixed up real good.
Good.
I didn't get a concussion or anything, so...
That is good.
Doing... All things considered, I'm just sleepy.
I gotcha. So all that taken into account, you had made a strangely specific request earlier by the warehouse.
I think she snaps her finger and says, I would still really like to do that if you're feeling up to it.
I don't know. I liked your sentiment of piling on all the bad shit. What did all the bad nastiness at one time, just get it out of the way.
Just kind of lump it all together like a beautiful little meatball of badness. I'm kind of hungry. I shouldn't be hungry. Why am I hungry?
Yeah, I don't really share that same proclivity, so I don't know that I can relate. People love your food metaphors, like, a lot.
Well, it takes up a lot of, our days.
Yeah, it does. It's a lot of what I get to sift through.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. It sucks.
Fucking sucks.
It's terrible. The chewing and the mouth sounds and
oh no. Cool, I am not self-conscious at all.
Oh yeah, so like I want you to fully understand that if you're asking me to poke around in your head, that's the kind of thing I gotta look through. Like there's no magic button where I say, show me this exact moment, because did I explain to you before about like the rooms and the rearranging and all that?
Yeah, you
okay.
did.
Alright.
Well, it should please you doubly to know my dad owns a restaurant. So I eat a lot.
Excellent.
Yep.
Wonderful. Yes.
Yep.
I am getting more and more excited, and don't regret agreeing to this at all. Nope.
Cool beans, man.
So, yeah.
I think she takes a sip of the water bottle she grabbed from one of the break rooms.
While we're on the subject and relatively alone, I guess, remind me again why you want me to do this? Because you already spoke with the Oculus, and he I mean, he cleared you, so...
Yeah, he did.
Did he not see anything? Did he not think... I don't understand why you come to me. Like, not that I'm not flattered that you...
Well...
Whatever, but, didn't really add up to me.
I don't know. I feel like because he knew me from before, I think he maybe didn't look quite as hard as he would have if I was just some random person off the street.
But
does that make sense?
Sure. I mean, it does. It does. From a certain perspective, I get that. But conversely, I know next to nothing about you. So it's like, again, when you rearrange a room, I don't know where things are supposed to be. So
right.
I
was thinking we could just go back to a baseline that I'm pretty sure I know I wasn't fucked with that, and then maybe proceed from there.
Okay, and when was that?
Before I got snatched. So, the last thing I remember was Joel's retirement party, so I feel like that'll be an easy one to find, because I think about it a lot.
And when was this?
7 years ago?
7 years ago?
What? Yeah, man. You read my file? Damn.
You want me to sift through 7 years of your memories? It don't work like that, Sedaris. It's not... from a certain point of view, maybe, but it ain't that simple. It's not like I can put your brain into the movie slot and press the play button from a specific time and rewind and fast. Like, it sort of works that way, but it's not linear. It's not point A to point B. This is...
How do you guide yourself around? Is it impressions? Is it strong emotions? Is it things I keep thinking about? Is it like
those are all good baselines, yeah. The more significant something is, the easier it is to find. The more mundane and minuscule, the easier it is to skip past. So if there's something of personal significance to you, that would make it a lot easier to at least get a fixture. But even if I start from there, I could take that point and go forward. 7 years of time going through that. It doesn't happen in the blink of an eye,
No.
It's a little easier than sitting here looking at your clock and counting the seconds, but this is very unlikely to be something that is resolved in one sitting or a quick little thing.
Yeah.
So,
I can just go home.
This takes... What do you mean?
You don't have to do it. We don't have to. If it's gonna be too much trouble, I don't want to put you out, man. It's been a day.
I didn't say I wouldn't do it. I need you to understand what it is that you're signing up for and what you're asking me to do, because it's gonna take time and it's gonna take energy. So I need as much specific information as you can think about before we start it to, give me a baseline to go from.
Yeah.
That sort of.
The
Sedaris greatest hits.
Yeah, I'll keep it. I'll keep thinking about it till we go for it.
All right. Pulls out a watch and looks. I guess we don't have to do it tonight if you don't want, but.
I think she knocks on the door and asks, "Hey, Roja, are you almost done?" She is pointedly not looking in the room. She opens it like a little bit from the floor.
From the floor. You say that, and then there's a pause of maybe like 20 to 30 seconds, and Roja appears in the doorframe, like in full, like in surgeon garb, with just like really bloody glove hands, like down to her elbow on both hands, and just is standing there like, "What?
Do you need me anymore tonight?"
No.
Okay.
I didn't need you the first time you asked. If
bye,
you can't
Roja.
help me.
See you later. Ah, fuck.
Ugh. She turns around and goes back to
Athena
her.
shuts the door so she doesn't have to.
I think there's just like a string of maybe muttered or like she's just ranting to herself, just like, you can't make out what she's saying, but it's like...
Roja does not like me.
What did you do to upset her?
We can talk about that on the way, because I super don't want to be outside this room anymore.
Sure.
I think she puts the trash can back where it was.
Nice.
Leave no trace.
You just get up to leave with Zadal?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think I have to pick up anything.
No, I don't think so. So he'll,
Oh, can I have my handcuffs back? I think Rex is gonna be ticked if I don't bring him back eventually.
Yeah, sure. And he reaches into his coat and jingles them a little bit and pulls them out and hands them to you.
She tucks them away in one of her little belt pouches.
Wonderful.
She's being very responsible with this gear, so he gives her a real good wingsuit eventually.
Nice. You start walking out with Zadal, and he says, I guess we're going to where you are. Is that... I don't really entertain, and this is sort of me doing you a favor, so...
No, I think
Is
Poppy
that too presumptuous of me to think that you would have a safe place to do this?
It wasn't. I just wasn't thinking, I guess. I think Poppy might have some people over today, so I don't want to, like, interrupt, you know? Really, what she's lying about in this moment is she doesn't want the Lassica to know for a little bit.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay. I don't think he has any reason to, like, care enough to question this, so I'm not going to make you roll deception. He'll just be like, that's okay, sure, whatever.
Can I get you something as a thank you? Like, do you want some little crystals to refill your pack?
That is very kind of you, but I will handle that myself. Well, not that you ain't great and all, but I'm not entertaining visitors right now. So,
that's...
You got another place we can go?
I don't know that she does. Would Escarglow be open still?
Probably not.
They go to there.
Yeah, I know you said your dad has a restaurant, and that's where we're going.
Yeah, Escarglow.
He ain't gonna mind that,
I think he's probably closed up by now. It should be fine.
It's on you. I don't really care. I don't think
he's gonna care.
Whatever you say. I have jurisdiction to trespass if I deem it fit. So you guys leave the spire through the main entrance, and you walk back across the bridge to the hub, where only hours ago you had escorted Bolt, bloody and bruised.
I think as they're walking, she's looking for splatters of blood that she might have left behind.
But you're up on the raised walkway as you go back towards the hub. In the distance, I'm trying to think of how the smoke would disperse. Like, how long would it sort of linger before it disappears? So maybe...
well, with the fans also?
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
I bet it's not there anymore.
Yeah, so I think with the help of the fans, it's cleared all the smoke out and dissipated. So you look over there, and it's like it never happened, at least from this distance. There isn't that same level of chatter and awareness in the streets. Things have sort of simmered back down.
Okay.
But you walk back to the hub, and you're able to go through the doors and get onto the train, through the platform. You guys ride the train without any problems. The cityscape passing by in the night. Neon crystals in the light.
I think she did get back into her regular clothes before they left. She doesn't want to draw any more attention.
Sure, yeah, it's understandable.
But I think she does have her badge inside her pocket.
If you guys are leaving, then I think Zadal's still dressed the same. It's just sort of his casual with his coat and everything. But yeah, you guys get off and you walk to the very southeastern area of the city where Escarglow is located. It's a dining district. You walk past some residential housing as well, but this time of night, not too busy. There are people out. There are always people out, but
always people out.
The places that are open, it's not as heavy traffic-wise.
Okay.
But you can get back there without any problems. I think he's generally reserved and is not prone to asking you questions about yourself unless there's something specific that he wants to know, at least for right now.
Cool. I think as they're walking, it's probably been silent for a while, and she's really jittery because possibly a big thing about to happen. Mm-hmm. So I think she asks, "Is Zadal your full name?" I've known Arrow going by like one name, two names, just personal preference.
Zadal is all. You laugh and he just sort of half-heartedly shrugs. Yeah, that's my name.
Well, I was just curious.
Sure.
Names are real important, you know?
Yeah. Suppose that's true.
She has so many names.
Yeah. So, you know, it's sort of like a badge. It's your mask. It's who you are. It's your identity. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little different for Arrow because, you know, we get to pick our own names, so I mean, I
That's
guess
gotta be cool.
people do it too.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it is. It just is.
I gotcha.
Everybody handles it differently. I mean,
So what do you like doing when you're not fleeing mobs that I caused?
oh, you mean like the majority of my life?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I like to read, I guess. I mostly keep to myself. I do my job. I'm good at it, and it's how I like it.
It's a fucking dream. I think she kicks a rock as she's frustrated that won't be her reality fucking ever.
Maybe this is a little on the nose, but like you have the ability to quite literally do whatever it is you want to do. Like,
Like as a person?
yeah.
But, a lot of stuff tie...
Things tie you down as much as you allow them to. Just food for thought. I looked in enough people's heads that you'd be surprised what people allow to hold themselves back, I guess is what I'm saying.
Can you give me an example? I'm grasping at straws.
So I'm gonna do a little internal reflection to see if I feel bad about telling you any of these things. Nah, not really. Serious question. No, I mean just the mental weight of carrying things around with you. It's some people. There was one woman who had for 37 years carried around this immense guilt of something that she thought she had done that hurt somebody else, something she'd said, and she thought about it every day for 37 years, and the other person didn't even remember it. So, I guess how you feel about things is not how everybody feels about things, and there's no sense in worrying about things you can't change, and yada yada yada. Doesn't matter.
I think she's nodding as she's listening.
There's your philosophy lesson for the day.
I'll take it to heart.
Well, if you want to, it's your life.
That's true. I'm the decider of my own fate.
Bit in the Wonderbolts.
God damn, dude.
Although I suppose the Wonderbolts is your fate as well. And mine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think at the end, like, it's still fresh enough that hasn't... He was sort of bagging on you and forgot that he was roped into it as well. Day one down. We didn't die. Let's see.
God, was this only day one?
I think so.
Oh my God.
Well,
did yesterday count? I don't know.
For me,
probably.
Today was day one, I guess, officially. I don't know. We almost there.
We're a couple blocks out still, sorry.
It's fine, I guess.
I'll just entertain you with more inane questions.
Oh yes, those are my favorite kind.
How long have you been a regulator? 'Cause turns out I was doing some math the other day. I've only been a regulator for 5 years, 'cause I took a big long break in the middle.
Oof. And he takes a while to think about it. 2 years, 3 years, maybe. I don't know. Something like that.
Who keeps track?
Yeah, time's a little weird.
Yeah. Just keeps on slipping.
It does. Time does slip. I don't know. It's sort of hard to explain. I know things are different for, you people, but it's, it ain't quite the same for us. Just in terms of timeline and awareness, that sort of thing,
That makes sense. I mean, we spend most of, the first 20 years learning how to be people?
Yeah, it's sort of pointless when you think about it, because you can just save all that information and then give it to somebody when they're born, and then you have,
I think you guys got it right, man.
People. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, personally.
It seems like a better system.
Yep, no bias here, trust me.
Well, I think they get to the restaurant.
Alright, so you get to Eskar Glow. The front is dim. Across the street is the brightly colored and ever-lit Mobius strip with a steady customer base.
Even now?
They're open 24 hours.
Bastards!
I know before I said they were open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, But I'm going to now extend that to they're open 24 hours.
I mean, it makes sense.
So,
I think
swoops
Athena
around.
takes a long sec to just squint and see if she can see Mobius through the giant window being a dick.
Yeah, I think there's a...
Is he like on stage? Is it karaoke night maybe?
Maybe it is. And I think we have an over-the-shoulder shot of Athena, like, looking into the window, and then a front shot of her just squinting angrily, and then a closer shot through the window of Mobius inside. And maybe Mobius is the one on stage singing karaoke
That's
right
what
now.
I assumed.
Yeah, and he's sort of got his hands out like he's doing like a
God.
diva, and he looks like he's having a great time.
Of course
And
he
the crowd
is.
seems to be enjoying it as well.
I don't think she would spit on the ground, but if she was that kind of person, she would do that now.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go and sing instead, I can leave and we can do this a different time.
She waves her hand. No, that guy's just such a jackass. He's the fucking worst.
I mean, he ain't much of a dancer, that's for sure.
I think that did make her feel a little better, but not enough.
I think as you're fiddling with the key and opening it, Zadal just, like, starts to mime the same, like, puts his hand out and does, like, the same dance that Mobius is
Stop
doing.
it.
I don't know, I think I'm pretty good at this.
I mean, shit, maybe you should take the night off.
Yeah, maybe.
Stage is right there.
Mm,
Don't let me stop you.
I've clearly missed my true calling. And he quickly loses interest and goes back to milling about. I don't think it takes you, like, that long to open the door.
No, I don't think so. I think
yeah,
she's just standing in the door waiting.
You done? But yeah, so you head on inside. The lights are dark in here. Yeah, so you head on inside with Zadal, and the inside is dark. Maybe there's some basic ambient or security lighting, like there's one light on somewhere just so you can see somewhat inside. It's empty. Nobody else is here. It's quiet, especially after the door closes, but you can still see the lights flickering from across the street cast dim shadows through the rest of the room. So there's just like, it's like a billboard is constantly changing outside or something.
I think she's very irritated by that and goes to shut the blinds.
Zoop. Zadal sort of meanders about and looks around, and he sure likes barisks.
Yeah, it's kind of his thing. Breeds them, cooks them, except for Gooper. I don't think he's ever gonna cook Gooper.
Gooper is a barisk, I take it.
He's big one.
Did you like how I inquisited that information out of you
it,
from
it was really good.
my
It's almost like it's your job.
serious deduction ability? Yeah.
And its name is Gooper.
Gooper, sure, because,
Yeah.
big old snail.
Mhm.
Sure. Very clever.
Ginger flavored.
I wouldn't know.
You know what? Now I'm saying that.
Is that a good thing?
that
Is that
would-
bad?
I mean, it's... Some people don't like it, but it's really good for when you have nausea. So, there's that.
Fascinating. Yeah. Maybe you could have used some of that earlier.
Yeah, probably could have.
It's a biology joke. How'd you like it?
You know what? It'll do.
Good.
I think it'll do.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, let's how about you give me some information here, and we can do this thing that I came here to do.
Yup. Where do you want me? What would be most convenient? Am I gonna, like, pass out afterwards? Should I be on a bench?
I mean, it's usually better if you're in a seat or something. It can be unpredictable how people react, especially when they come out of it. I've seen anything from comatose to being unconscious from shock, violent because they're afraid and don't know what's going on. It sort of depends on how the memories flow.
Okay.
Where we end off. I'm good at this, so like,
Yeah.
there's not really. I don't mean to amp you up and make you nervous here. We're probably gonna be fine, but
Cool. Do you want me to, like, handcuff myself to a chair so I don't hurt you?
I mean, are you gonna hurt me?
I don't think so.
Oh,
but
then
now
I
you
think
got me
we're probably
worried.
okay.
Okay.
I mean,
She's really nervous now. You should do that. Just in case.
I guess that's fair. If, we're going through slave memories.
Yeah, you should do
You're gonna
that.
be okay with the handcuffs then?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just... I
You
think
wanna-
she drags over one of the chairs that she herself made, so she knows it's quite sturdy.
Sure. You wanna give me those cuffs back, maybe?
She does.
He secures your arms to the chair. I guess I'm gonna give this a try, but you got your thingy, and he sort of tinks his metal finger on your metal.
Yeah.
This is,
I think I can turn it off if I need to.
Is that what you did for the Oculus?
No.
Now I'm confused.
I was a bit scared, and I didn't do that. So this should be easier, maybe, this time?
Okay.
I'm pretty scared all around right now. I just want to lay that out. But it's okay, because I feel like you're going to do good work. And she squints at him and gives nods.
Okay, yeah, so let's just go over the main bullet points of, right now, this situation. Where should I be looking? What am I looking for? You said you thought somebody messed with your head, right?
Yeah.
That was the problem?
I mean, it had to be when they were taking me out of the city is when it would have started. So I would start at the party and proceed forward through those hours and see what happens. Because I don't super remember a lot of that, but it's probably there.
Okay. Alright, so it's either at the beginning of 7 years or the end of 7 years or anywhere in between in that 7 years. So it's somewhere in the 7 years.
Somewhere in the 7 years.
Oh, God. Oh, boy. And what do I have to go off of here? You said start at the party. That's all you got for me?
I mean, as long as you go through that night, that's a good place to start, right?
Yeah, I guess that's what you're telling me. I guess he puts a hand on your head or on your circlet or on your temple or something like that and says, "All right, deep breath. Don't do anything crazy."
I won't?
I mean, when you wake up.
I'll try not to.
Good stuff. And he will cast his thingy. And you're not resisting?
No.
Okay. 8. So that's a success with a raise. So he begins to sift through your mind. It's successful. So I think as you slip into memory, it's a flurry of blurred and fleeting images that race in front of you. Images of your life passing in seconds. Sometimes it slows and you can get a better look. Other times it's so sped up that you can't even follow what's going on. So it's hard to get a hold on things. There are occasional flashes of distinct images like you in armor or everything's from your perspective. Mm-hmm. So I want to say there are occasionally bits that you would remember and then probably a lot of stuff that you're just I don't know what the fuck that was or I have no idea when that would have been.
Right. Brain debris.
Right. And I think as this is happening, it feels like it's going on for a long time, and you have a very difficult time grasping how much time has actually passed. The major images that it pauses on, that you see, it more specifically focuses on years ago, and then within the last week or two, to just, you see much more from there, and maybe some scattered flashes from between, but we definitely see Isaac. Maybe it's the last time you saw him before you left. There's just a still image of him. We see Pavi in armor. We see Roja. Probably see you on some of your mercenary jobs. Point of view shots from you as you're doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some violent imagery. Maybe fire, lightning here or there. Your sword is out, singing through the air, that sort of thing. And at the end of it all, it freezes on a still frame of that last moment after Joel had stepped into the incinerator to his death, and that shot of Jack Stavith with the orange-rimmed glasses there.
Oh, it's so fresh.
And I think it's very fresh, and I think as that is happening, there is another side-by-side shot where you see the orange eyes from the other night, and it sort of sets them next to each other.
Ooh.
And you're not sure, it's a weird, in your head, you've never seen these things next to each other, but that's what you see as a mental image. And all this happens, and I think you're stuck on that last image for a while. And you do eventually wake up. I think you're disoriented, and you don't, all this has happened, so it's just coming out of a long sleep where you had fitful dreams or something like that.
I don't think she remembers she's handcuffed, and she immediately tries to, wrench herself out of them unsuccessfully.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little wildly.
And you do that, and your hands are still cuffed, but they are this time cuffed in front of you. And you blink and you look around and you are not in Escarglow.
Oh no.
You are in an interrogation room and your hands are cuffed to the table in front of you.
Cool.
And as you jerking them against that and they're holding fast, you look up and Zadal is standing there looking down at you.
Sounds right.
I think he says nothing at first and there's just you guys staring at each other.
So, I kind of thought this might have been a possibility. You want to just drop me down the mountain yourself?
Listen, we don't have a lot of time here. You want out of this situation right now?
Yeah.
You answer my questions and we'll see what happens. Thank you for listening to this episode of Neon Heat. Savage Worlds is owned by the Pinnacle Entertainment Group, and you can find them and their products online at peginc.com. You can find our website at rpgforyouandme.com, where we update weekly with new episodes, character art, and bios. Neon Heat features the music of the very talented Crockett, who you can find at crockett.bandcamp.com and on Twitter at Crockett80s. We're on Twitter at rpgforyouandme, and Allie is at UCTheHat, where she posts art from the show. Allie also runs a side campaign for me that's available to our Patreon members, and you can find us there at patreon.com/rpgforyouandme. Any support means the world to us, and it makes it easier to make a quality episode every week for you. If you like the show, the best way to support us is to leave a 5-star rating and review, but even more importantly, tell a friend about us. If you're looking for more Savage Worlds content, please check out Sounds Like Crows. It's an actual play Deadlands Reloaded podcast about 5 brothers on a quest for revenge in the supernatural Wild West. The cast is outstanding, and the audio and editing quality is cinematic and top-notch. The game marshal, Caleb Sunstead, is extremely talented and dedicated. They just started their 4th season, so there's plenty to catch up on. With all that out of the way, thank you again for listening. We know there are a lot of podcasts out there, so it means the world that you spent a little bit of your day with us. See you next week.